Good day. This is the Barangay Calero water filling station, a feasible study presented to Mr. Mike Vincent Baco, Research Mentor, in partial fulfillment of the requirements for the subject in Research 1 of Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management 3.
Chapter 1, Introduction. Safe and readily available water is important for public health, whether it is used for drinking, domestic use, food production, or recreational purposes. Improved water supply and sanitation and better management of water resources can boost countries' economic growth and can contribute greatly to poverty reduction. In 2010, the UN General Assembly explicitly recognized the human rights to water and sanitation. Everyone has a right to sufficient, continuous, safe, acceptable, physically accessible, and affordable water for personal and domestic use. In this case, and generally speaking, the world is also experiencing an issue towards the quality of a safe drinking water. Contaminated water and poor sanitation are linked to transmission of diseases such as cholera, diarrhea, hepatitis, hemorrhoids, and polio, absent or inappropriately managed water and sanitation services expose individuals to preventable health risks. This is particularly the case in healthcare facilities where both patient and staff are placed at additional risk of infection and disease when water, sanitation, and hygiene services are lacking. Globally, 15% of patients develop an infection during a hospital stay, with a proportion much greater in low-income countries. In the Philippines, 91% of the country's estimated 100.7 million population have access to at least basic water services, but access is highly inequitable across the country, with the regional basic water services access ranging from 62% to 100%. Around 99% of the one-fifth wealthiest households are more likely to have access to basic water services, while only 80% of poorest quintile do. Up to today's generation, there are still inequality happening in the country. People who actually need drinking water do not have the power to afford it. According to Mayor Cristina Frasco, Mayor of Liloan, along with the rest of Cebu, Liloan now finds itself in a grip of a water crisis. It is unbearable and unjust to see people suffer from scarcity of something so basic and fundamental as water. We must hold to account those who have known about this impending water crisis but have done so little to avert it, while profiting greatly in the process. In accordance with the statement above, even though there are a lot of water filling stations in the municipality, there are still lack of safe water supply to the public. The water is also some places that are still a blind spot for supplying purified water station in every barangay of our Peru. This study will consolidate on becoming the #1 CPS and trusted purified drinking water in the city and gradually expand its market to a higher and more established business that will be patronized all over the world.
Chapter 2. The Executive Summary. Barangay Calero's water filling station is a kind of business that offers the quality of purified drinking water for your family. The store will serve a cheaper and more convenient solution to the public's drinking water needs. The name Barangay Calero will represent the place where the water refilling station was first built at, so that as the business established its name to the city and eventually through nationwide, people remember that this successful venture was once a small business in a small barangay in Liloan called Barangay Calero. As mentioned earlier, this water refilling station will be located at Barangay Calero, Liloan, Cebu. This water refilling station will be the at least third station at the barangay of Calero. The place is accessible for customers with motorcycles or even four-wheelers cars. It has a wide area that are surrounded with trees and near houses. This water refilling station will be expected to serve community with a quality drinking water as well as great service from employees, showcasing how clean and trustable the business is.
Chapter 3, Marketing Aspects. This section helps to identify market competition, potential markets, and market analysis to assess a business idea.
This will be valuable to support the starting process business plan. This chapter includes service products, customers or market, location, benefits, demand supply, industry, supply business capacity, and satisfied demand. Price study marketing program, SWOT, pestle analysis, and business model canvas. The following factors will be presented in sub-heading forms.
The business logo. The undersigned prepared this logo design as it is represents the business itself. It shows what the business offers with a large drop of water to its backdrop. And the essentials of business name were also visible and obvious. Services. The Barangay Calero water refilling station gives credence and believe that sanitation, cleanliness, and product quality is the key toward a successful water refilling station as a business. These factors, together with its unique marketing strategies, will be the foundation to perform the
Product. Purified water is the water that has been filtered or processed to remove impurities like chemicals and other contaminants. It is usually produced using groundwater or tap water. Through purification, many types of impurities are removed, including bacteria, algae, fungi, parasites, metal like copper, and lead chemical pollutants. The World Health Organization estimates that over 2.1 billion people lack access to safe drinking water. In countries that purify public drinking water, various treatment methods are used to make water safe, including coagulation and filtration, sedimentation, filtration, and disinfection. Purified water is water that has been processed to remove contaminants like dirt and chemicals. In many countries, tap water is purified to make it safe for human consumption.
Customer target market. The target market of the proposed business venture will be Barangay Calero, the neighboring barangays, and can also be the whole municipality itself. Municipality of Liloan. According to the 2020 census, Liloan has a population of 153,197 people. Part of this is the Barangay Calero with a population of 6,821. In this sense, the expected starting target market of this study will focus on the barangay. In the complete thought that the product water is essential and don't have a specific target market. As long as there are people, there will always be a demand. Location of the business. The water refilling station is situated in Barangay Calero, Liloan, Cebu. In Barangay Calero, there are few water refilling stations, thus giving us competitive advantage as there are no other water refilling station in the area. Calero is a barangay in the municipality of Liloan in the province of Cebu. Its population, as determined by the 2020 census, was 6,821. This represented 4.45% of the total population of Liloan. The household population of Calero in the 2020 census was 5,315, broken down into 1,192 households, or an average of 4.46 members per household.
Industry. As for the amount of resources that firms, producers, laborers, providers of financial assets or other economic assets are willing and able to provide to the marketplace or to an individual, generalized, the business water filling station supply product will only start at a very low number to support the starting demand. In order to produce product and to supply the demands, the business water filling station main resources will be private wells. This kind of water sources tends to last longer and require less monitoring. For its quality, as long as it is properly constructed, this will typically offer much higher level of protection from bacterial contaminants near the surface.
Marketing program. In this part, the researchers will be providing flyers that will help the business to be known. Since in today's generation, social media is very active in society's most, especially to the people. Aside from flyers, the researchers will be use social media platforms, Facebook page, so that they will spread more to other places, which also helps the business to bloom. SWOT analysis. This figure shows the intent to identify the proposed business internal strengths and weaknesses, as well as the external opportunities and threats. The strengths indicate that the business assets will be its affordability with its outstanding health and hygiene. The next box labeled the business weaknesses, which is the competitors and lack of differentiating. The third circle led to the opportunities of the venture, which is the marketing strategies, increasing awareness and distribution. The last column is the business possible threats, which is the local competition, and worst is water shortage. Pestle analysis. The table above is used to analyze and monitor the macro environmental, external marketing environment facts that have an impact on the proposed businesses. The analysis is also used to identify threats and weaknesses, which are used in SWOT analysis. Business model canvas. The table presents the business tool used to visualize all the building blocks when you want to start a business, including customers, route to market, value proposition, and finance. The aim of this section is to provide information about an organization's target market, that markets need.
Chapter 4. Technical aspects. This chapter represents and determine the efficacy of the proposed project by examining the details of written process and manufacturing methods. This includes store location, store layout, supply program, product, process, procedures, ingredients, flow of operations, closing procedures, target markets, preparing requirements, and financial information. Items that are mentioned will be presented in subheading forms.
Store location site. Shown above are exact features of site location where the building of the structure takes place. In the right side is the photo of the accessibility of the business location. Store layout. This layout will serve as the official working place for employees. The young and undersigned are also expecting that this arrangement will affect not just employees' behavior but also to the customers. Supply program. For purchasing the needed materials such as plastic bottles, plastic containers, and other raw medium for business, the main source will be the liquid packaging. Corporation located at Mandawi, Cebu.
Shown here are the products or items with its descriptions.
The process and procedures. In this segment, the young entrepreneurs will present the process, procedures, ingredients, and overall operation of the business product. The first step will be getting water from the source, which is deep well. The oldest and most common kind of well is the water well, to access groundwater in underground aquifers. The well water is drawn up by a pump that are raised mechanically. Filtration or sedimentation process. This is where the water flows through a filter designed to remove particles from within it. The filters are made of layers of sand and gravel and in some cases crushed anthracite. Filtration collects the suspended impurities in water, enhancing the effectiveness of disinfection. Biological process. The biological enhanced active carbon process is an option for many water utilities. Thus, this is where most of the removal occurs through physical absorption, while the bacteria in the inflammation phase. During this period, the OC removal ranges from 40 to 90%. A 10 to 20 fraction is non-absorbable on GAC. Coagulation and flocculation. Used to separate the suspended solid portion from the water. Suspended particles vary on source, particle size, charge, shape, and density. Coagulation and flocculation occur in successive steps, allowing particle collision and growth of plaque. Washing and refilling water. Wash the storage container and rinse completely with water. Sanitize the container with a solution made by mixing 1 teaspoon of unscented liquid household chlorine. Bleach is 1 quart of water. Sealing bottles or containers. This will be defined regulations for packing water. To make sure that the original purity of the water remains intact, natural mineral water must be packed directly at its source and sealing intended for consumer.
The flow of operations. Pre-opening. Opening employees will come to the restaurant at the stated operating schedule. The manager will check the order names and completeness in both service and production area. The production employee will prepare the raw materials for the day operations. The service employee will prepare the service area. Manager will provide change fund to the cashier and ensure that the bills and goods are available for the day operation. Cashier will communicate with the production area for readiness of products. Manager will have a short briefing 10 minutes before the start of business. Operations. The owners are expected to operate his or her own business for at least 3 to 5 days after opening the venture with the employees. The openers are also required to smile and make connections to the customers. There will also be a promotion and other advertisement sales to make the business known for the public. The service area should be constantly monitored in its cleanliness and orderliness. Closing procedures. An hour before the closing of store, the manager will inform the service area and other employees. At the end of business hour, the service area and production area will perform their respective procedures including cleaning, organizing, inventory, and checking. The cashier will count the daily sales and submit the day's sales to the manager for the proper acknowledgement and recording. The manager will input the daily sales, ending inventory in the computer, and finally record to the logbook. Importantly, activity including the factor affecting the sales and other important matter. The manager will do a final round to the entire store to check each area including unplugging of electrical materials and other equipment. And lastly, the manager and the employees will leave and close the store.
Target dates. The timeline shown above represents target dates for the event and running the business throughout the month of January to February. These given dates and events will be valid to the process and finalization of papers and building of structures. Preparing requirements. Listed above are the requirements to establish the business. These requirements are mayor's and business permit, which will cost 2,500 pesos, BFP or Bureau of Fire Protection certification, which is 600 pesos, water connection fee for 500 pesos, DTI registration, which is free of charge, sanitary permit for 200 pesos, electric connection fee for 5,000 pesos, and health certification for 100 pesos.
Management aspect. This section presents the following aspect that implies a clear and precise identification of duties and responsibilities, flow of authority and manpower level requirements that must be set up for optimal effectiveness. These include vision and mission, formal business organization, organizational chart, personal selection, qualification requirements, owner, personal roles and responsibilities, and business policies and schedule. The following unit will be dispensed by a subheading 4. Chapter 6. Legal and Taxation Aspect. This chapter will discuss the taxes that our business must be paying as a normal part of business operations. This will also present the laws on the basis of which every deal between people and commercial firms are governed. The law of contract constitutes the most important branch of mercantile or commercial law. Business legal system. The business is assigned an independent individual to make sure that the legal compliance of the business, the national local requirements, and resulting in legal application or submission are strictly monitored. On its miscellaneous expense item, it covers the monthly allowance for the legal consultation from the lawyer that serves as certain useful for the said service, amounting to 1,500 per month. The loan usually initial capital is amortized annually and equally with a term of 5 years and interest rate of 5%. The loan uses initial capital is amortized annually and equally with a term of 5 years and interest rate of 5%. Taxation. The business shall use the optional 8% rate for the annual tax payable. It does not need to pay any more percentage taxes. The optional rate is per deduction that already covers the percentage and income tax. The business shall be registered as a Dutch registered establishment. 7. Socioeconomic aspect. This section aims to indicate social and economic factors such as income, education, and employment, community safety, and social supports. This includes market, industry, community, disposal, and sanitary permit. Market. When the proposed business is launched, this will provide quality drinking water at affordable and worthy prices. The business water filling station will supply enough purified water that quality drinking water for the whole family can reach. Consistency in the products produced is what the business aims to offer to customers. Industry. The goal of the young entrepreneurs are to not just to gain big profit out of the proposed business, but also to provide and let the potential customers that they deserve a high quality of drinking water. Also to manifest positive traits of the business through the help of the employees in their accommodating and sound service. Community. The business venture will also provide an opportunity for the people of the community where they will be structured. This business will be a good source of their income and other things to help them with their daily lives. Waste disposal. For the proper waste disposal, the proposed business will adopt the Ecological Waste Management of Act 1000, RA 903, wherein the law provides the legal framework of a systematic, comprehensive, ecological solid waste management in all of the Philippines. which will ensure protection and public health and the environment. To ensure that the business will follow the said law, the business will understand the guidelines for the solid waste flow and consider action. It will have the proper segregation, collect, transport, and storage of solid waste. Flow of the waste disposal of the business. Every store will provide two trash bags, one for the water waste and the other one for the other trash. Sanitary permit. The proponents will require sanitary permit as per mandated by government. They will attach the card on the